What's going on, guys? Roger here, QVO Tactical. Today we are shooting a video that I've been wanting to shoot for a while because a gun has finally come to fruition. This is the new Tisas B9R double stack 1911. Takes 17 round magazines and it is very well priced. You can pick this thing up for like $700 to $800 online. So it's definitely that gateway drug, that entry level, double stack 1911 or 2011, if you will, that I've been waiting for to get other shooters to try this platform out. Without further ado, let's get into it. Now, as always, I like to tell you guys how I go about getting products in for review. Our friends over at AIM Surplus recently got a bunch of these in stock, so I reached out to them and talked to them about partnering up with us to get one of these on the channel. So they did send this out to us free of charge. It's for us to use and keep, and don't worry, we're going to be sending it out after this video is done to get some work done. We'll talk about that more at the end of the video. Now, let's get into our first rounds. Now it's time for the first rounds through this Tisas B9R double stack 1911. Guys, I was asked a bunch about like, hey, would I ever come out with my own like 1911, 2011? If I did, it would be something like this. And the reason I say that is because this thing is, extremely affordable. I want something in the 1911 platform, the double stack platform, that's going to get newer shooters to try the platform out. I understand that, dropping $1,000+ on a handgun, it's not doable for everybody. So having something like this, you can find this gun online anywhere from like $700 to $800 depending on where you go. We got this one sent to us from our buddies over at AIM Surplus, like I said earlier. Here we go. First rounds, I'm gonna shoot like 10 to 15, 10 yards out, and running the new HoloSun SCS carry. So closed emitter, solar charging sight, and the PID weapon light here on the front, which we'll talk about later on in the video on how you get this thing mounted. All right, here we go. First rounds. Super easy, feels good. All right, so not ported, not anything like that, and it's a 9mm metal frame gun, so polymer grip, but the recoil is still very minimal. Felt very soft shooting. Lock back on their magazines. I got some staccato mags and some Duramag Prodigy mags as well to try out. But my grouping is a little low left. We'll get this thing zeroed here after everybody shoots their first rounds. But the thing felt solid. It was easy to track the dot. Everything felt, pretty on point with how 1911s feel. Trigger's polymer, but I didn't really notice it. The reset and everything felt fine. I'll have Marco get up here and shoot it, and he'll be able to break down more of like the specifics and internals and mechanics of it. But first rounds to me, they feel good. All right, we got Marco with his first rounds now. Go for it, bud.
Let's see how he runs. He's good. Safety's positive. It's nice. That's pretty smooth. So it feels like a 2011, which is a good thing, to say the least. Grip feels nice. I'd probably texture it more personally. Otherwise, the dot returns good. It feels like a 2011 shooting it. Trigger is plastic. I just noticed that. I thought it was metal. It actually feels pretty good. For the cost of this, it's going to be probably going to do pretty good in the market, honestly. This thing's pretty nice. When you were dry firing at the house before we came out, talk about that. You were saying like the slide frame fitment, you were actually surprised? Yeah, most of the time when you get cheaper like 2011s, they have like a loosey-goosey upper to lower fit. This is actually pretty good for the cost of this gun. It's like it's on the upper echelon of the fit and finish there. There's no like rough spots either when you're racking that slide back and forth. There's no real hitching. That's another thing to watch out for with 2011s or 1911s, mainly because you want to smooth back and forth, especially with these guns. But that gun shoots pretty good for that price range, I will say. It's kind of nice. For those of you at home wondering about the hits, like we were saying, I'm aiming about here. We're all hitting about low and left, so we'll zero the dot out at 10 yards and get some more range time. Gil's mainly behind the camera today, but I wanted him to get some first shots on it. Go for it, bud.
Man, like Marco said, that's honestly really good for the price point. I feel like this is something I would want to get for me being like getting into the 1911 platform.
All right, we're gonna shoot like a 5-round group here with this HoloSun SCS carry and see where the optic is zeroed at. 7 rounds. We'll go down and take a look. Solid group, 10 yards out. Got all 7 rounds around here, so needs to probably come over a little bit right, but 1, 2, 3, 4 inches up. So it's slightly left and low, which kind of makes sense for when we were shooting our first rounds and we were all low and left when we were shooting center. So we'll make our adjustments, get it zeroed up, and then we'll get into some bill drills. So making our adjustments here on the new STS carry. Sorry if I'm putting a shadow on it, but the adjustments are definitely audible, tactile. I could feel and hear them. And we'll go further into the optic, further in the video, make sure you guys see through it and everything. But I like closed emitter, I like not having to worry about the battery, and as far as daylight bright, it's definitely very easy to see in this very sunny day. So it looks like I went up probably an inch too high. So make some more adjustments right there, it'll be good. Yeah, we are nice and zeroed. It looks like 4 clicks on this Holosun optic equaled 1 inch. So just made my adjustments from there. I was about 1.25 inches up, so I went 5 clicks down, 1 click back left, and good to go now. So we just finished up shooting that Pizza Boys Challenge video. We figured why not bring it to this video. So if you didn't watch that video, please check it out. But got 2 targets out here. Pan over here, Gil. They are 2 yards apart, so 6 feet. We are, what, 5 yards out, 15 feet out. We're gonna draw. I'm gonna fire 2 rounds on this small credit card size box, reload, slide lock reload, and then 5 rounds on the second target. It's getting a little windy now, but yeah. For OWB, just hands at the beat your side, and I'm ready, Gil. Let's do it.
Stand by.
A little bit of trigger freeze in the second one, and then couldn't find my dots. Man, Marco, check this out though. It wasn't in, but look at those.
Yep, straight snake eyes, as you say.
Marco would say is like as slow as my double was. That's why it was like that.
Yeah. You gotta bust out the calibration card for that.
And let's see, 1 broke, but I got 1 out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'll tape these up, and I'll give it 2 more runs. I'll have Marco get up here and try it as well. Now for round 2, guys. If you're curious about the footage that you're seeing right here, like the shot times and split times overlaid onto our video footage, it's because we're using the SG timer from Shooters Global. It actually syncs up with your phone and will overlay the footage while you record through your phones. We're using my iPhone to record this portion of the video. If you're interested in getting one of these timers though, we have a link down below in the description of this video. And if you use that link, we do get a small commission, which helps out the channel. But it is the timer that we've been using in all of our videos to get this style of footage. You guys have been asking, so I definitely want to share that with you. So appreciate the support of the channel. Let's do round 2, Gil.
Stand by.
Ah, that second shot, I saw it. Woo! So when I shoot fast, I'm definitely noticing like how it's very minute, like seconds, like tenths of a seconds, but
you can see it.
how much slower the return is not having it ported.
Gotcha, of course.
So like boom, and I'm waiting, and then I drove it.
So like you're overdriving because you're waiting for
Yeah.
it. That's why.
And then like right here, that's where that came from.
Yeah.
So I'm just learning the different timing now. I'm so used to shooting ported guns, guys. And I know some of you are like, oh, he's making excuses. No, I can literally feel like I'm happy that I'm at the point with my shooting where I can diagnose this stuff, because I'm seeing, like, I shot the first round, I'm like, man, where is it? And then I'm just like, screw it, I need to force it to come back down, and then I do, and I'm breaking the shot, but I'm driving it too far, and then thinking I'm hitting here, but I'm actually hitting here.
Yeah, good like example is like, let's say you drove like a Ferrari all your life for a racetrack, and all of a sudden you got a Civic now. It's like you're trying to drive that Ferrari like the same as a Civic, but it's not going to perform the same. So that's pretty much what's going to happen when you switch guns all the time, stuff like that. So.
Got a 449. That would have been the gold patch had it been clean. I'm going to go one more time, and then I'm going to give it up to Marco. Again, I was talking. I did something with my draw, and I was talking about it, and I completely forgot. Like, hey, I'm going to need to drive this a little quicker, and then shot it low. This felt really good though. What, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Yeah, that felt really solid. So time 5.51 though. Kind of fumbled the reload. But one thing we talked about in the first video on the Pizza Boys Challenge, guys. The cool thing is, for me, I always think of defensively. Like, I'm not a huge competition shooter like Marco. So like my miss being here, like I think back to like the Patriot, man, aim small, miss small. You know what I mean? Exactly. Like if this was somebody attacking me and my goal was to shoot this pocket on his shirt, but I hit one in the pocket and one just below, I'm still going to be happy with those hits as far as like trying to hit, you know, vitals and stop that target.
Yeah. High lethality.
All right, Marco. First round for Marco. Here we go.
Lost the dot for a second. That's on me.
5.75. One out. And
Two out here.
oh, there's that other guy. So yeah, 2 out here.
Ooh. Grip is a little bigger than Staccatos or the other manufacturers. Just a heads up, guys. So I gotta actually cant the gun a little more to get to that mag release, which is good to find out right now. But that's why drills like this are pretty good, because they'll push you at speed and you'll find out what's wrong immediately.
All right, real quick, I want to show you guys. This is the QVO Tactical secondary OWB holster that we're using. We now have the Audi Gear Poppies of War fabric overlay. So if you're looking for a holster, hit up our website, qvotactical.com. Enough with my shameless plug. Here we go, Marco, stand by. .545, first shot 183, best split 0.2.
Yeah, counts on the line, but no, come on.
Yeah, that broke.
Yeah.
Those are in. And
one out.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I see 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the 5th guy? Oh, right here.
Oh yeah.
There you go. Broke the tape. Third and final. Here we go. Stand. Oh, 519. I thought you had that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 out. And 1 out.
Second or third shot, yeah.
Again, though, like what I was saying, like if this was somebody attacking you, all day long, good shots. Wasn't gonna leave you guys hanging without some build drills. Here we go. 21 feet, 7 yards out. Going for all alphas, Marco.
Stand by.
Through 1 high, just outside of the A zone. 224. Let's go again.
Stand by.
That felt really good. 191. Did I get a line breaker? I think I did. Yeah, baby.
Perfect hit counts. Yeah.
Boom. So, second run. This was from my first run that I called out, but all alpha on my second run for a 191. I'll take it. Third and final run. Here we go.
Stand by.
2 seconds flat. Hey-oh, and clean. I'll take that all day long. We'll talk about this at the end of the video when we're going over everything, but I can tell you right now, we were saying this when we were loading up mags. Trigger is definitely heavier than your staccatos. I know everybody's gonna be comparing to that. This isn't something you compare to a staccato, guys. We're talking, this is, you know, roughly 1/3 to 1/4 the cost of my staccatos. But I will say this, it's, in my opinion, definitely way better than a Glock trigger.
Oh yeah, it's on a stock Glock trigger, yeah.
So, and I'm sure as I shoot it more, it's definitely gonna wear in, but if I'm on my second and third runs of build drills, I'm getting 2 seconds and sub 2. Like, that to me is awesome. All right, Marco, first run for you. Here we go. Stand by. 228. First shot 139. Best split 0.17. All alpha, baby.
0 points down.
Second run, you ready?
Yep.
Stand by. You got a 15 split in that one.
Yeah, getting used to it now. Timing's getting a little better.
And again, all clean. Are you going to get the trifecta? 3 clean runs.
Make life easier, guys. Just a heads up.
You going to get 3 clean runs?
I hope so. We'll see. Try to trip it up. 3 runs.
You got to get 1 sub 2.
Yeah.
Stand by. $239.
Yeah.
Oh, I shouldn't have said nothing.
I think it was the first shot. I kind of drew the gun weird.
In bowling, I just messed up your turkey.
That's right. Oh, man. Let's take these bad boys out.
But what are you thinking trigger-wise?
Actually getting used to the timing. It's more of a standard like mil-spec style, like 5-pound trigger. So for a gun like that price, you're not gonna. That's pretty much what you're gonna get. But I mean, it's still better than a striker fire gun because it's a 2011, 1911, so you get a straight pull back. So not a hinging trigger, which is easy to shoot this way.
Giving you guys a close-up look through the new Holosun STS carry optic. As you can see, gun returns right to. It's very easy to control on this Tisas B9R. The optic is easy to follow, even on the white target in the middle of the day with the sun. It's definitely daylight bright. Closed emitter is very nice. I'm always liking that over open. But for me though, I do wish that the optic came in red. I'm just more of a fan of the red versus green. But I was talking to Holosun and they did tell me that in order for the battery not to take up so much, it had to be a green dot versus a red. But this is the new STS carry. It uses the 407K footprint, and solar charging site is what STS stands for. So it uses that solar panel there to get the battery power for it, and you never have to change the batteries. So definitely check it out. Fitment on here was pretty ideal. You will have to use different screws. We do offer, our EPS style screws that will work for this as well. But there's a close-up look. I'll give you guys one more time. Looking here at the targets with the dot. Oh, let me take the safety off. And I'll just dump the rest of this mag. But overall, really impressed with the optic. Just wish it was in red. All right, guys, we are 50 yards back now. When we were zeroing the optic, our groupings were all touching 7 to 10 rounds. That's great, but we're only at 10 yards. Definitely what you want to see with your optic when you're zeroing. But coming back out to 50 yards now, I just want to see how well we're getting on target. If Gil pans down, he's going to see this mini A-zone target, which is like steel that's only like 8 inches wide. So we'll see how we're doing at 50 yards out, getting hits on this guy. You ready, Gil?
Ready.
There you go, 3 in a row there. So it's decent. I will say for me, I'm definitely noticing how much heavier the trigger is than like my staccatos and my other 1911s and 2011s. I'm definitely giving it a little too much, and I'm having to shoot on like, you guys at your figure eights, I'm shooting like on that recoil coming back up, and I'm having to aim on the right edge of the target. But is it doable? Yes, at 50 yards, we can hit this thing. Now here's an up close and personal look at the trigger. Taking the safety off here. It is a plastic shoe. I'm not really noticing a huge difference between the plastic and the metal, so not really a big deal for me. The prep is this. Very, very little, very similar to my other 1911s. The difference here is going to be the trigger weight. As I get here, I can feel myself dipping because I'm thinking the trigger is going to break, but there's a lot more to it. There we go. So like 5-6 pounds there. Reset, tactile, audible, very easy to get to, predictable, as Marco would say. If I had to get, multiple shots off at a rapid cadence, still easy to do. It's just you have to account for that heavier trigger weight. But I mean, as far as this being like, you know, $700-800 double stack 1911, that trigger is fine to me. It's definitely better than Striker Fire triggers that I've played with. So out of the box, I'm happy with the trigger, especially for the price. We'll try out some reload drills, just see how the gun's feeling in regards to not having a mag well, stuff like that. Here we go, stand by. So you guys saw me dip there. Again, that's just me getting used to the trigger weight. I'm gonna run the drill again now as a 1R1. Ready, go?
Ready.
Stand by. Got a 335, fumbled it a little bit. Things I'm noticing, the grip is a little wider, so I'm noticing that. What Marco was saying earlier with getting to the reload to hit that mag release. And then one thing I'll bring up close, and you'll see here, when I go into my draw, the beaver tail safety sits up a little higher than what I'm used to, and it's like hitting the webbing of my hand. So as like if you're somebody that like scoop draws into your beaver tail or the groove here in the back strap, that's something you might hit. It caught me one time really good. I'm not sure yet if it's an issue or something I would change, but it's something I'm noticing. Here we go. Stand by. Oh, that was my fault. That reload would have been better if I would have purchased it. What do we got? 337, pretty consistent. Let me put the shorter mag there, get a better purchase. So there is our first malfunction. Go ahead and take a look, Gil. So,
Trying it up for you guys here.
just failure to feed. The round just didn't go up, so could be mag. Let's see. That is a staccato mag going in. So haven't had that issue yet. Let me try it again. But that is our first actual malfunction. We're probably 350 to 400 rounds in right now. Ready, Gil?
Ready.
Stand by. Cool, worked fine there. So one minor hiccup there. We'll try it one more time just for good measure. I did get a 283 on that. Happy with that. Stand by. Again. So it's this mag. It's not liking the 17 round staccato mag going all the way. And I bet you it's just dropping it from the slide stop versus actually racking it all the way back. So I'll try actually doing a full cycle of the slide on this reload and see how it does. Yeah, so that's it. It just didn't let me doesn't like me dropping the slide on the staccato mag. On this one in particular, we'll try it again, but with the, which one is this? This is the Tri-Arc 20 round mag. Let's try it with this. Stand by. Didn't like it either. So with certain mags, I'm gonna grab one of the actual Tisas mags and see if it does the same thing, but it might just not like having the slide stop dropped versus racking the whole gun. So I grabbed a fully loaded Tisas mag, the magazine that comes with the gun, and we will try a slide lock reload, hitting the slide stop or release, whatever you want to call it, and see how it works with theirs. Here we go, stand by. It's a little sluggish, but it did go. Let's try it again. What was our time? 3:10. Stand by. So it likes their mag. I mean, hopefully their mags are cheaper. It does come with 2 mags. One more time. Yeah, no issues with their mags. So if you guys are running the other like Staccato, Triarch, or Duramags, no, they will work, but on your reload, you might get some feeding things, issues there. Could also just be, you know, breaking in the new gun. Looking at the feed ramp here, it is a little gummed up. Not too crazy. We are at about 350 rounds right now, and we haven't cleaned or done anything to this. We just lubed it up before we started shooting it. So not a huge deal for me, but it is good to know and something I wanted to show you guys. Last thing I want to do for you guys before we hop off the range is just to see like the best split times that Marco and I can get. Typically with, you know, Staccato 2011, what are you, like, what's the best split time you think you're running? Like 11s and 12s?
Yeah, 11s and 12s.
So I don't think we're gonna get 11s and 12s with this.
It'll be hard.
But I think we could definitely get like 14, 15s.
Yeah, that's capable, very capable. The gun's capable.
All right, so I'm just gonna do a couple bill drills here on steel and we'll see what we get it down to. Stand by. Best split was a 17. Let's go again. You could definitely feel how heavy the trigger is. Whoop! Got a 14 there. Whoop. One round left. In the head. Best was a 16. So I got a 16 and a 14 with some 3-round drills. They weren't bill drills. I realized my mag was kind of light, so I wanted to shoot 3. But Marco, let's see if you can get better than that. For those curious, our holsters are compatible with the QLS fork. That way you can just pop your holster on and off like we just did there to switch out. Stand by.
Slow shit.
Best split was a 2.7.
Disgusting. I got a bad grip on that one. That was disgusting. For real this time.
Stand by. Got a 16.
And yeah, I see what you mean. The beaver tail though, that back shot, that caught me on that one a little bit.
Stand by. Woo, there it is, 15, baby.
15's hit.
Nice. So guys, this is one range session with us, like, again, under 400 rounds with it. I'm definitely happy with the performance that we're getting out of it. Like, this is the 1911, 2011 I've been waiting for. It's something for you guys out there that are just all about the Striker Fire platform and you've wanted to look at these. Like, if you're not interested in 1911, hey, no sweat. But if you're somebody that's like, man, I'd really like to get a double stack or a 2011, but it's just like, you know, that $1,500 to $2,000 or $3,000 price point just is very unattractive, which I agree. This is something that I think is going to be that gateway drug, if you will, to get you to look at the platform.
Yep. She's nice.
Now for our final thoughts, guys. This portion may be a little longer than normal because there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. I'm very excited that this thing is coming to market, but there are some things that, in my opinion, you know, do need to be changed. Don't get me wrong, like, I think it's going to be great to get, like I said, newer shooters to look at this platform, but I'm going to let Marco take it first.
Yep. And
talk about the things that you're noticing, especially with your background. Yeah. Marco also has a background like the manufacturing side. He does a lot of consulting for some major manufacturers in regards to like how they're building and designing guns. But yeah, Marco, take it away, bud.
Break first, stuff like that. But the fit and finish is actually pretty good for this gun when we first got it. It's loosening up now. It's still in a pretty good range of play though. It's nothing crazy. I'd say it's pretty good on the metallurgy end for now. I'd like to see long-term testing, like maybe when we're at 10,000 rounds. But most people do not shoot that many rounds. But for an everyday customer, they're probably going to shoot like 1,000 a year, maybe.
For those wondering, yeah, we shot 400. We're just at 400 rounds right now.
I'll usually average now 500 a weekend on me at my end. But the fit and finish is still good. The grip kind of reminds me of the old Paragons if you're old enough like I am. So it's a little bit on the thicker side, just a heads up. So it's going to be hard for some people to reach the mag release. You really got to get a good release and cant on it. Otherwise, the gun shoots well. I'm actually very surprised. It's accurate. The return's really good on it. Trigger is pretty good for a gun in this price range. I'd probably lighten that up. That's the only thing I'd really do. Red dot cut, it's pretty solid. The rail, it's kind of weird. It's kind of short. That's my big no-no for this thing, for sure. But
So some of the stuff that I'm thinking is going to echo what he's saying, but for me, the gun out of the box, like guys, if you find this thing online, you know, in the $700, $800 price range, to me, it is definitely worth picking up. Like you were saying, it shoots really well. I was doing some build drills for our B-roll intro, and I got down to a 1.7. So it's very capable. For me, like that's typically what I'm shooting my other 2011s in. So if I'm able to hit those times with the build drill, I'm happy about the gun. Like he said though, I am curious about long term with this. I'll just give a spoiler alert now. We will be sending this to our buddy Vinny. I'm gonna let Vinny take it away on this exact one that we shot in this video. I do have another one that I purchased, so we have two of them. That way I'll be able to compare a stock one to this one we've all tricked out, but I want to get more rounds on this one for you guys. Like I said, we're at 400 rounds right now, and again, the only malfunctions we had were when I was doing those reloads with, you know, different branded magazines. Not a huge issue to me. Marco was kind of saying with 2011 mags, they get really particular with the angle you were saying.
Yeah, sometimes the 9mm, like when they're loaded, sometimes they dip when you don't clean them. You gotta maintain mags a little bit more. It's kind of like a race gun, 2011s. They're better now than they were years ago though. These mags are way better, every manufacturer I'd say. It's a world of difference now.
Yeah, so for me, those malfunctions weren't a huge issue to me because they could be magazine induced. The gun has been performing flawlessly for us on the range. Other than that, accuracy, when we zeroed it, groups were super tight. Like we did when we were doing the B&T using a SIG P320 factory barrel, I could not get groupings like that with almost a 5-inch barrel from that SIG P320. So I'm happy to see the accuracy with this thing. The weight feels really good. Some stuff about the ergos I'm not liking, like the beaver tail. To me, it does set a little high. You guys saw that in the B-roll. A couple times when I came into the grip, I actually hit it on the webbing of my hand. But that's minor stuff. Some deal breakers for me though, the rail. So I get that, you know, maybe the idea is it's a commander length 4¼ inch gun, so they're going for the concealed carry market. But to me, having the rail extend out to a 3/4 rail so that you could fit full-size lights like a TLR1 from Streamlight, a TLR9, or an X300, which none of those will fit on this gun, just so you know. It's that to me is kind of that's a deal breaker.
Yeah,
like
it's like, oh, it's out, never mind.
Yeah, the rail needs to be able to house those lights in my opinion, because for me, I actually like my light to sit forward of the muzzle. Again, my mind always goes back to my law enforcement days with defensive shooting, and when you have to do contact or like coming up to somebody and just pushing the gun to them, you want a standoff device. The weapon light is great to have forward of that muzzle. Not a huge issue if you're taking this to the range or if it's a home defense gun, don't get me wrong, but just to me, I'm really familiar with the X300, it's particular to me. So not being able to mount a full-size light on here is kind of a bummer in my opinion. It doesn't take up any more, you know, concealment space. It's not going to change the overall footprint when you're concealing this on your body by putting a 3/4 rail. Again, that's my opinion. You guys might differ, but to me, it's like I don't want to put a TLR7A on this gun. I don't want to have a light that's recessed behind the muzzle of the gun. I will say though, the fix though, because you guys might be wondering, how did you get a Holosun PID on here? I actually went and 3D modeled my own insert, my own key for this weapon light, and I 3D printed one at home. Everybody on Instagram was already asking like, hey, are you gonna sell those? If for me to manufacture and have somebody do those, they'd probably be around like $6 for that little insert. But what I might also do is allow people to download that key from our website. Like if you order a holster or something like that, it's in your order, you could download it that way. You could actually print your own out and then use this weapon light. So you can get a full-size weapon light on here, but it's going to take a little bit of work. As far as the holster goes though, for the Holosun PID, it actually has the same exact fitment as a Streamlight TLR1, and when I mean exact, I'm talking full click everything. The retention points are the same, the light is dimensionally the same, so that really works with this holster, and that's why we haven't gone out and made specific molding for the PID. Just for return on investment doesn't make sense for us, but you guys saw on the range, this is what we're using the whole day, no issues whatsoever. Comes out when you want it, clicks right in, and you can change the retention, you know, to however tight or however loose you want it. So if you have a Holosun PID, it will work with our Streamlight TLR1 holsters. The other thing I'm not really a huge fan of, they went with an RMSC footprint. Guys, I like the SCS carry, other than it being green. I talked about that, you know, when we were doing the through the optic stuff. I just don't prefer the green dot, I prefer a red dot, but the SCS carry is only going to come in green. I do like the EPS carry, that's what I run on my EDC gun, it's red. So I don't mind that footprint, but for me, with the size of this gun, I'd much rather have a bigger optic. I'd rather have Holosun's
507
competition on here. But I will say this, The footprint is really nicely cut, meaning that there's no gaps. The thing has a very snug, very tight tolerance fit. Like if you don't put the screws in there, it'll still sit in there and not go anywhere. Not when you're shooting, but I'm talking about when you're mounting it. It's a really snug, really tight tolerance fit, which I really dig and enjoy. It does co-witness with the direct mount RMSC or 407K footprint optics, so that's really good there too. The plastic trigger, when we first got it in, we were kind of like, but I didn't really care on the range. It was fine.
I thought it was metal for a second, to be honest with you, until I really looked at it and like touched it.
So again, for me, like I'm already in that world of 2011s and 1911s. I have 17 staccatos that I've paid for. I was given 2 more for videos, and I bought 17, so I think I have like 19 staccatos right now. And guys, like I really enjoy the platform. I carried 1911 my whole career in law enforcement. That's why I'm a big fan of it. To me, it's just, I can actually point that thing and shoot. Marco says it all the time, an open division, you know, a crazy 2011. Open 2011 is what is
so it's
what's
gonna win
king.
every day of the week, 2011, especially a good shooter. The gun just got too much mechanical advantage over everything else.
So for those of you out there that, you know, you're like Gil and you're diehard Glock fanboy, Glock fan, cool, that's awesome. I love Glock too, you know, but I have 7 Glock 19s for a reason. But if you're somebody that's, you know, hey, I kind of want to take a step into the dark side, I kind of want to try out a 1911 or 2011 platform, but you don't want to break the bank, you know, picking one of these up from our friends over at AIM Surplus, I believe they got them for about 800 bucks. I definitely think you're going to be happy with that purchase. So do keep in mind those other things that I talked about. I will even say this, on the safeties, you see how they extended the one on the left? I do like that. That's like, that to me is paying attention to little details that I like, because for right-handed shooters, the safety's a little further over, and on the other side, it's not. So something I'm really digging.
Yeah, positive click too. So it's not like some other manufacturer where it's like kind of squishy. That's positive on off. So. And
then as far as the insert, I wanted to come out here. The gun did get really hot when we were doing some of the bill drills. Faster cadence of fire, I did feel the serrations getting a little hot. I do wish the serrations came back further. Like, I don't like that I have to reach so far up. A lot of people do that. It's kind of similar to everybody else. I kind of want the serrations to go from front to mid. That way I can grab it here versus closer to the front side of the muzzle. But I was happy that the gun heated up and that there was nothing with the light. There's no wobbleness. The light is still on there solid, good to go. So that gives me, you know, the confidence in getting you guys this key if you want to use the Holliston PID with this setup. So that's all I got for you guys. Like I said, it's gonna be a little longer than normal because I am overly like pleasantly surprised with this gun. Like very impressed. Like
I thought it was gonna be loosey goosey with the slide to frame fit. I'm like, oh, it's nice. I'm like, it shoots.
Everybody on the internet's been saying, you know, oh, it's Turkish crap, all this stuff. I get it. People want to hate on it. Take it out and shoot it, guys. And the thing is, for the price point, you can. Like, you don't have to take this out, spend $2 grand, and then go to the range and be like, oh man, it's not for me. Like being able to, you know, shoot your friends if still 800 bucks is a lot. But if you're somebody that's been wanting to get into this market, get one of these. Now I think is the time with this. We'll shoot it more. Again, we're gonna send it out to Vinny. We'll get it all poured up and done up, and put, you know, his magic to it. My whole thing is, with what I paid for this gun, you know, what you can pay for it, AIM Surplus sent us this one, what I paid for the other one, that plus the cost of Vinny's work still puts you under the price of any competitor. So that's awesome. So I know people are talking about the B9R DS too. I'm gonna look at that as well. Don't get me wrong. I believe that gun starts at like 1,200 bucks.
Something like that.
But for getting a gun that's sub $1,000, hell, sub $800, I think you're getting a lot for your money.
Yeah, a lot of value there. A lot of value.
So, I'm done talking your ears off. I appreciate you guys watching. Definitely like, subscribe, do all that stuff down below. Make sure to show some support to Supervail, to AIM Surplus. We appreciate those guys jumping in on the channel and helping us out, making these videos for you. It becomes a lot easier with support from companies like them. That's all I got for you guys. I appreciate it. As always, we'll see you in the next one. Split. I felt that split, but it was only 5 rounds. Yeah. That was a 151, dude. That would have been a sub 17.
Still would have been good.
If I didn't trigger free. 170.